Please pass your work. Guys, please respond. Shall we continue with? After fluid grid, we have few more layout. Flexi box layout, grid layout. So we started with media query, resizable images followed with responsive grid system, which is fluid grid system. Okay, listen, let's continue with few more layouts. So moving on to the next layout, flex box layout. I have introduced flex some time back. So let's get into more detailed on flex box layout. Flex box layout is for unknown or dynamic items. So always whenever I don't know how many number of items I have it in my list. In such situation, you can use flex box layout. It is suitable for components and small scale layouts. Always flex box layout should consist of parent structure. So that is why I want you to. So there will be an outer div. Inside, you will be having all the child items. So whenever if you are going for component and small scale layout, you can go for flex box layout. Always it consists of parent. So you can go with any name, but we usually have a practice to call this parent as a container, flex container. So the outer div falls under the category container. The inner div falls under the category items. Always flex item can flex their sizes according to the response available spaces. So based on the available spaces, so this will fix their item. It contains two axes. One is main and cross. You can switch over between main and cross. Whatever the thing we have discussed in the introductory part, in detail, we will discuss on various properties of flex container. So based on the direction, I am placing all my child item. Based on that, either we can go ahead with main axis or we can go ahead with the cross axis. So this is a basic flex terminology. So by default, so this is our main size and this is our cross size. Please look into all the property name. So we have main size, we have cross size, we have main starts from here, and we have cross starts from here. X-axis is your main axis and Y-axis is your cross axis. So the outer div falls under the category flex container. The inner div falls under the category flex items. So always flex direction establishes main axis. It defines direction flex. The items are going to be placed inside my container. So by default, in which order the flex gets displayed. So if you noticed in this diagram, by default, it takes row order. It starts filling from first row, and then first row based on the division, it will split the second, followed with third. Once it reaches 100%, again, it goes to the next row. Row by row is a default mechanism of flex in terms of item filling. And you can decide whether you can go ahead with horizontal columns or you can go ahead with the vertical columns. You can have flex container. Inside you can have flex container should exhibit the property display in the form of flex. Let me get into one example. Let me complete flex container and flex item property, and then we will have an example. So let us align the item inside flex container using different value. So before going into the example, let's explore on few more property. So flex container holds CSS property called as flex direction. Guys, are you with me? So the first property is one is you should have display which is flex, so that no, my items will be displayed in the form of flex one after another. The second property should be flex direction. Either I can give row, or either I can give column, or either I can give row reverse or column reverse. We have one more property called as flex wrap. So by default, whenever if you have flex item which could not able to fix on in one single line, automatically it needs to wrap to the next row. So that property can be enabled with the help of flex wrap. So automatically it wraps. So by default, the wrap flow will be row wise. Yeah, you can also give column wise. The direction of flex, as soon as it reaches 100% of width in my page, automatically it cannot able to fit on one single line. So it can go to the next row, or row by arrangement, column by arrangement. After first column, it has to go to the next column. So that direction you can specify with the help of flex flow.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
Ma'am, if you are not too much concerned with the resolution of the elements, let's say pictures, we have pictures as elements. So is it a better idea to use wrap most of the time? Because as per the problem I am facing is that because I have to make many adjustments after I have put the things in. But
when the screen size change, you have to be more cautious on that wrapping. Then you need to work on those width. Okay. So let's have a simple demo on flex. So demo on flex and flex wrap. Let's assume 2, 3, 4, and 5. You can try for the same. So by default, my outer parent class div will take container. It's just a user defined name. You can give it any name. So let me show you various. So what was the first property I want to apply to my container?
Background and flex.
What was the first property if I want to enable flex box layout in my web page?
Display flex.
Display flex property. I'll preview it so that no then and there. So let me give background color. As for all the div, let me give
margin.
yeah. We will give width. Shall I give font? So in order to adjust, so let's assume once it reaches 100% of width, automatically it has to wrap to the next line. So that property you can enable with the help of flex wrap. On what basis?
Wrap.
Let me modify the direction. Wait, flex display, flex direction, row, reverse row. Can you see the difference? Since it is wrapping, flow is row basis. So I can able to automatically wrap once it reaches to the maximum width. Since I have given 150, it is wrapping automatically to next. I can able to control the direction of flex, either row basis, column basis. So since I have provided column reverse, can you see the output? The child element inside my container are in the reverse order. Shall we continue with various property? So if it is row wise, so it'll fit, try to fit onto one single line. If you are wrapping automatically, it wraps from here. If it is reverse, it starts filling in this reverse direction. The same is applicable for column and column reverse. Apart from that, we have a property called as flex start, whether it has to start from the beginning, whether it has to start at the margin of 100, or otherwise the child elements to be available on center. Please look into all the property. Flex start, flex end, center, space between, equivalent space between, space around beginning and end, evenly spaced across everywhere. So you can able to justify the content either from start, end, center. Let me apply the same. Can you find the difference? Guys, are you with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
by
ma'am.
default, your container will controls all your child element. No wrapping, wrapping in reverse, either row basis or column basis, or you can justify the control on what direction you need to place your flex element. You can give any name. You can give main. Most probably they will be providing with flex container, main. So they will be calling with hash or class ID or class, either main, and inside all your child element. So moving on to the next. So either you can align the content, justify the content, align the content. So let me align the same. So where can I align? Can I align from start? So let me give end. Either all your content should start from the top or from the end, central in your alignment content, whether it has been stretched and it has been fitted to all your pages, space between, equivalent space, space around top and bottom. I'll repeat again. We started with flex container. So flex container, you need to enable by calling the property display. So followed with in which direction you're going to place an item, whether you are wrapping. By default, what is your alignment? Aligning your content, justifying your content inside your flex container. All the items inside your flex can be start, end. So this you can try with images. So I have tried with div. So I want all of you, instead of div, you can give any ordered list or unordered list. I want all of you to keep some 6 or 7 images and try with this flex. Instead of div text, I want all of you to place image tag.
6 images, ma'am.
Images, 5 or 6 images. And each images you use height and width as auto. So depend upon its height and width, you place it on your page based on your flex box layout. So quickly create a new HTML page, add some 5-6 images inside the same folder. place your image tag, enable your flex, make it as a flex box layout and display the same. Let me also try. Instead of div, 5 div, you can have 6 or 7 images. So try to make it as